Hello YouTube, bringing you kind of a treat today. And for those of you who are very familiar with what you're looking at, that's a Sharps. And this is a Sharps Cavalry Carbine in 5070 Government. This is what's known as the McNelly Sharps. And this particular one was made by Chiappa. Pedersoli was making them, but I've tried to order one, but they're discontinued, so I ended up having to settle for the Chiappa. And I can tell you the case coloring on this gun is gorgeous. The action is actually very, very smooth. And of course, this is a carbine, so it's not the full-length Sharps rifle that you're normally used to seeing. And what there's the reproductions of are the 1859 Sharps. That was a percussion gun. They were 52 caliber, and they were converted over to 50 caliber government 5070 when that round first started coming into use. It was the first. Everybody thinks the 4570 is the first cartridge round that rifles were using for the American military. Incorrect. It was the 5070 government, and it was such a good round that Buffalo Bill Cody himself, under contract with an 1866 trapdoor conversion, one of the Allen conversions, killed 3,000 bison under contract when he was providing meat. That's how Buffalo Bill Cody got the name Buffalo Bill. It's because of all the bison he killed. And it was, I mean, granted, talking 3,000 bison is a huge number, and today we'd consider that slaughter, and it was, but it was a different time, it was a different mindset. But be that as it may, the performance of the round speaks for itself. 5070 is a phenomenal round. And normally you usually see them in 450 grain weight bullets. But let's get to more of this gun. And this gun, even for such a small length gun, it has a 22-inch barrel. And it's just a typical carbine style stock. I wish I could get outside and do more outdoors with it, but we just got dumped on with about a foot of snow, and they're supposed to get more this week, so it'll be a long time before I even get to see my range and shoot before I can even get out there, which is good because I've had to order the reloading components. And I was surprised how easy 5070 government is to get. Lyman makes dies for it. Brass was easy to get a hold of. Reloading information is out there. Bullets are out there. Molds are out there. It was almost nothing to find to reload for. You would think, given some of the more popular lever action rounds that you can't get stuff for, they would be easier to get. No, actually 5070 was nothing to get any of this information or loading material for. So, I mean, this gun weighs about 8 pounds, and it's a very nice compact carbine, and it's got your typical military style flip up sights. And the problem with 5070 is if you're not used to that type of round, you want to talk about the 4570 having kind of that pumpkin lobbing trajectory. 5070 has got it beat. You have to understand the ballistics of the round. At 100 yards, it's dead on, but about 50 yards, it's going to be ridiculously high. And 25, it's just starting its climb. And it literally, the arc of the rainbow, more or less. But if you've seen them and been around them, they're not all that hard if you've shot bigger caliber rounds like this. But this gun here, I'd had a Sharps before, but I had an IAB percussion Sharps. That was 54 caliber. And it did not shoot well, which is notorious for the IEBs. They are not the Pedersoli guns. They're not Chiappa guns. They seem to have major issues when it comes to some of their craftsmanship and some of the tolerances. And so I really had given up on the Sharps again. I did not want like the typical Quigley Sharps. They're really nice to look at. And they're great if you're going to shoot black powder cartridge and you're going to shoot silhouette shooting. As a hunting round, especially here in the East, you're not going to want to take a 10 or 11 or 12 pound Sharps rifle with a 30-inch barrel out in the woods all day, every day. You might if you have a spot where you can sit and rest and you have a lot of distance. And of course, most of your Sharps, even like the 1874 business rifles, they're all in 45-70. You can get much cheaper and much more practical guns in 45-70. Especially like the new Henry single shot, you can get that for $400 or $500 versus a really nice Sharp $1,400-$1,500 and up. This was something different. I wanted a 50-70. I wanted something different than 45-70, but without going the all-out 45-110 to 45-120. I could have gotten a 50-90, but I figured the 50-70 won't do it. Stop trying. The 45-70 will kill everything up here as far as game. 50-70 is, some may say, overkill. But, if you're using 50 caliber muzzleloader, really what's the difference? So, I just wanted to give this quick look to this gun. I intend to really get very familiar with this gun this year. Once I get the components reloaded, I'm probably going to try. There's a lot of actually good loads in smokeless powder. I was surprised at how many there are. With probably, I'm going to start around the 450 grain bullet. If the 450 grain bullet works, I see no reason to do anything different. It's going to be a big enough bullet. And the history behind these particular Sharps carbines, McNelly Texas Rangers, were assigned in the Nueces Strip in Texas, and they were basically assigned with cleaning that up, and he armed his Rangers with the Sharps 50-70 carbines instead of lever action rifles. And everybody was wondering, well, why not get guns that hold more rounds? And his response was, I don't want men who miss. He figured the one shot from the Sharps carbine. And, I imagine a 50-70 Sharps versus as power range compared to, say, a 44-40 cartridge there's not even a comparison. The 50-70 will put down a horse easily enough if you were, and that was cavalry thinking, shoot the horse if need be. 50-70, more than capable of doing that on the spot. 44-40, you'd probably have to get a little bit lucky to do that, at least where it was not going to run off and die later. 50-70, you'd knock it down right there. So, with that being said, YouTube, this is just a quick look at this, and again, you'll be seeing more of this gun. I have high hopes for this gun. I had to do a lot of horse trading to get this particular gun, and it is definitely going to get used. That I can promise. So with that, YouTube, have a good day.